Carpe diem. My name is Ultranatic. Do I really have to do this? Well, then I unpromise that. Not intentionally, okay. Rather than argue with the audience, or whatever troll is messing around with the text right down there, I gotta get that looked into. I'm just gonna go into the review. The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2. He's fa-la-la-la falling in love. Fa-la-la-la-la. He's fa-la-la-la falling in love. Okay, so Disney's The Hunchback of Notre Dame, one of their darkest and most mature films, got a sequel.
And there was much rejoicing.
Yeah, anyone that was excited for something like this probably has a year-long pass to the Wallpaper Museum. Ironically, one actually exists in France. And I gotta be honest with my audience here, I created the series Disney Versus purely to do reviews like this. What narcotics and banned vodkas I consumed to come up with an idea like that, I'm not sure of, but here it is. Yeah, Disney Versus is a series where I look over some of the greatest animated films of all time, and right after, they're inferior knockoffs. Whether they be live-action remakes, look-alike films from rival companies, or even direct-to-DVD sequels. Because yeah, Disney made a whole slew of these from the early 90s to the late 2000s. Most aren't worth the attention and time, especially this one. What was so inspiring and risque about the first film is completely sucked out of in this generic, annoying, completely downgraded sequel. But does anything good show up in this movie? Honestly, that's all I'm praying for with this one. So, hoping God answers my prayers, let's take a look at The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2. So we open with immediate downgrade in animation. Yeah, remember how dark yet colorful everything could be in the first film? Well, now everything has muted colors that don't complement each other, and everyone's movements are still good enough to make C-3PO look like Fred Astaire. But in admittedly weak defense of the movie, it probably had the worst budget possible. So this is probably as good as they could make everything look. I only wish this wasn't as good as they could make everything sound, though.
The town is in a tizzy, it's a busy, buzzing hive.
Yep, the first song is played, and I'd say it goes in one ear and out the other, but that implies the song goes in your head at all.
Le jour d'amour, your song is in the air.
Yeah, quick thoughts on all the songs in this movie, they all blow. In the last film, the only demerit musically was A Guy Like You, but even that is better than any song in the sequel.
A guy like you, with all you bring her.
That song was at least trying to be catchy, taking some obvious cues from Be Our Guest. But the inspiration for all of these songs came from bland tracks from the 90s.
Le jour d'amour, your song is in the air. What magic will you make for us? Whose name shall I declare?
One more try, I didn't know how much I loved you.
The song they're singing is advertising the Festival des Jours d'Amour, which translates out to the Day of Love. So, Valentine's Day. Seriously, just call it Valentine's Day. No one's gonna care in this joke of a movie. At least I assume it's a joke. They do bring back the gargoyles.
Looks like there's someone for everyone.
Too bad there's only one of me to go around, eh?
One is plenty.
And not only are they more prominent in this movie, but they're more annoying, more unfunny, and unlike the first film, practically useless. They do one thing of note in the whole movie, in the climax, and that's it. Otherwise, you wanna know what their highlight is? But unlike the first film where it's only there for a short period, here it's in all 3 acts of the movie. Because people demanded more sexual advances between a goat and a pig-looking gargoyle voiced by Duckman. Jason, this is the worst I've seen you since North. Since North.
Are you guys gonna fight all day, or help me get ready for the festival?
Quasi, you've known these gargoyles for more than 20 years. You know the answer to that question. Well, for the record, several years have passed in this movie. How do I know? Well, we have the birth of this character. This is Zephyr, the son of Phoebus and Esmeralda, and an incredibly annoying little pawn. No, seriously, look at this kid and tell me he doesn't belong on the front lines of a chessboard. He's a freaking pawn! His entire purpose in this movie is going to be to look cute, snoop around, get captured, and give some super creative dialogue showing how interesting of a kid character he is.
Oh, stand back. A little bit more wonderment and we might get an entire zippity-doo-dah out of him.
Oh, and if you want to know how cliched the humor is, they use tropes that parody sitcoms make fun of.
Zephyr, you need to slow down. Okay, Mom.
Not so fast. What are you doing?
You said not so fast.
Okay, that's not really a parody, but it's still funnier than this. They come to inspect the bell at the festival known as La Fidel.
Are you gonna ring it once for my mom, Quasi?
You bet he is, and your mother's gonna be down in the square screaming loudly into the night, I love my husband.
Oh, that corny dialogue that no married couple would ever be caught dead saying. They're serious, aren't they?
I love Esmeralda!
I'd rather watch a divorce unfold than see something like this. However, Quasimodo's sad because he doesn't have a special someone for the festival.
Whose name are you gonna yell tomorrow, Quasi?
No one, I guess.
Then who's gonna scream your name?
I don't think anyone ever will, Zephyr.
Boo-hoo? Seriously, Quasi, you went from 20 years of near imprisonment to being beloved by the town. Why should we care about you gaining a girlfriend? Actually, I can answer that question. It's the end game of the movie. Yeah, you need not watch this film anymore. The plot is Quasimodo gets a girlfriend. And how does that make for a movie plot? It doesn't. No, seriously, this movie isn't even a movie. Its runtime is 66 minutes. And newsflash, the end credits for this movie begin at the 59-minute, 52-second mark. Yeah, this movie's plot doesn't even last a full hour, so it's not a freaking movie. So why did anyone make it?
Because potatoes.
Takes more than looking to really see. Someday you'll be ready.
Gah! That's what Quasimodo looks like normal? Well, funny story, I always assumed that his deformity was caused by Frollo yanking on him too hard. I'm probably wrong, but it's an interesting theory all the same. If that was the case, then Frollo did a favor deforming him. I sincerely mean that.
Whoa, it's a circus!
So a circus comes into town, run by the ringleader Sarouche, voiced by Michael McKean.
May I present the prettiest ornament on the midway? My assistant, Madam.
Someone important to the performance didn't show up and ruin the act? Gee, never seen that in a Disney film before.
The magnificent Madeline is about to perform her daring high wire act.
His assistant is named Madeline, voiced by Jennifer Love Hewitt. Oh, and did I mention that Zephyr is voiced by Haley Joel Osment? Seriously, 3 really acclaimed actors signed on to play new characters in The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2.
Somebody doesn't want somebody to see a picture of somebody.
That's the only possible explanation. And Sarouche, the villain of the movie, plots with Madeline.
Up in the tower of Notre Dame is a bell of extraordinary value. I want you to go up there and find out which is the bell called La Fidel.
Why?
Because I mean to steal it, silly.
Yeah, I guess it is kind of a stupid question.
Yeah, the villain's plot is really weak. He just wants to rob the people of Paris and be so vain he probably thinks that this song is written about him.
You're so vain.
I could kiss me, but I'd fall in love.
You make Justin from Total Drama look modest. But you wanna know the strangest thing about this character, like jaw-droppingly strange? The voice acting Michael McKean gives for him is really, really good. I'm as shocked as you are, but honestly, listen to him. He's channeling his inner Mark Hamill.
I was thinking.
Thinking? Not your strong suit, is it, my little bonbon? No, it's mine. And where would you be without me?
On the streets.
Precisely.
You've made a mistake. I'm a university lecturer. I've got no money.
I wonder if on Mark's sick days that maybe McKean was the voice of Joker in Batman the Animated Series. That's how much I praise the voice acting by him. It's a shame his dialogue is still incredibly forced exposition.
I don't want to be a part of this anymore.
You should have thought of that before you stole from me.
But I was only 6 years old.
And you were starving. And it was only a few coins.
I made a mistake.
Yes. And did I turn you over to the authorities?
No.
And who took you in?
She's heard this spiel a dozen times before, need you remind her. Nor do they care. So she goes to visit Quasimodo and they partake in, big shocker, more stupid dialogue.
What's so funny?
It looks like you're wearing a really big hat. Yes, it's a brass beret, a 2-ton topper.
A chapeau in C-sharp.
Okay, hold on a minute while I call in an expert on writing natural dialogue. Good day, my Shyamalan's in my contacts.
I have to go. I'm sorry.
Wow, that was a well-animated, well-paced dramatic moment. I am watching the sequel, right? So he goes to carve a figurine of her, which looks an awful lot like Tinkerbell.
Do you believe in miracles?
Miracles? What kind of miracles?
What kind of question is that? Oh, wait.
Imagine someone to love who loves you.
I should have known. A segue into another wretched song sung by Quasimodo. Only in the last film where his pitches were just slightly off, here his pitches would fly outside of a baseball field.
A baby starts to walk or talk one day, then shockingly he's grown and in love.
Because I love you, and I'll do anything.
That being said, they do try to get some sweeping shots like the first film, except, you know, the first film did already. But no worries, as we also have a repeat of the Gargoyles convincing Quasimodo to go down there and have some fun.
Go to the circus, make a good impression. As your friends and guardians, we insist you attend the festival.
You can stay here and hope for a miracle, or you can get out there and make a miracle of your own.
Life's not a spectator sport. If watching is all you're gonna do, then you're gonna watch your life go by without you.
Yeah. Wait a minute. This has all happened before. Yeah, this does seem really familiar.
You're right. I'm off to the circus. Oh, but what am I gonna wear?
I got the perfect thing, kid!
I think the expressions on his friends' faces says it all. He could be wearing a banana suit and have more dignity.
No, I not.
Wow, pretty bad, Quasi.
But they go to the circus, where Quasi will most likely be mistaken for part of the freak show. Oh, not for his looks, just the clothes. And we discover Phoebus to be a gigantic hypocrite.
Don't trust these people.
What does that mean?
Well, just look at them. I mean, they travel from town to town like...
Gypsies?
Yes. No. I mean,
Okay, here's the strange thing. I'm less against Phoebus' circus performer prejudice, though that too, and more against that everything he says could have applied to the gypsies.
How can you lump people together like that?
But the gypsies weren't guilty of crimes like these circus people.
Yeah, not guilty of any crimes at all, except obvious thievery and attempted murder of the people trying to help them.
You've got a funny way of showing gratitude.
So while the circus performers rob them Michael Bay style, Quasi continues to stare with goo-goo eyes at Madeline.
What are you doing?
You were making Google eyes at your girlfriend.
She's not my... Who said she was my...
This movie is so original. I love the fresh new ideas it's giving to me.
And where do you think you're going? I mean to have that bell.
You know, I just realized his character is an absolute ripoff of Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. I mean, physically they're different, but they're both ugly and evil on the inside with admittedly great voice talent, are both incredibly vain, and their main goal is obtaining beautiful bells. And no, I don't call that a stretch. What I will call a stretch is the purpose of the next song.
I'll always be here for you.
Always? If ever I'm in any kind of great big mess or trouble,
I'd be right there.
Yup, the next song is about Quasimodo and Zephyr's lifelong friendship. And let's count how many scenes they had before going to the circus. Yeah, I have no idea what their friendship is based off of. Obviously Zephyr's parents, but when have Zephyr and Quasi bonded? If this song was in Friendship is Magic at any point, it makes sense because you feel an actual bond between those characters. These two are bonded like a paperclip holding one sheet of paper.
you mean you'll never leave me all alone, will always be a double we two?
That's the arithmetic, I'd stick with you.
If wishes came true.
Okay, I know these songs don't actually sound like those songs, but the point is how bland and generic they all are.
We two will do the trick, I'd stick with you.
I think we can safely agree that these songs all have the creativity of a Norm of the North sequel. And seriously, that film has a sequel too? Animat, what did you say in your top 10 best animated sequels list?
In the words of John Lasseter, the only reason why you want to make a sequel is because you have a great idea for it. We all know that's bullcrap. The actual reason why sequels are made is because the first movie made so much money at the box office that the companies just want to milk it into a major franchise till it's bone dry.
You speak the truth, brother. But Madeline becomes flattered that Quasi is good with kids and they bond a little more. So he shows her around town, and I admit, the more I listen, the more I have to acknowledge the score. Yeah, the instrumental stuff in this movie is actually pretty good. Reportedly, the composer of the Gargoyles TV show did this as well. And he put some weight behind these otherwise stupid, boring scenes. The fact that 2 people in this movie staff are actually trying to salvage this is astounding. Couldn't they just phone this in? Oh wait, the movie already does that. Case in point.
He's fa-la-la-la falling in love. Fa-la-la-la-la. He's fa-la-la-la falling in love.
Yup, the Gargoyles have another song. And boy, it makes me sorry for bashing a guy like you, because that's a freaking Queen song compared to this.
Rousing, rollicking, rondelay for our rip-roaring rhapsody.
Wow, speaking of Queen songs, when I hear the word Rhapsody, the first thing I think of is this.
I see a little silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, will you do the fandango?
Not a song rejected from direct-to-DVD sequels that somehow still ended up in one.
Why should we be blue? His love is true, so bid the kid adieu.
And the song's tone isn't even consistent. Before it rushes into this overtly cheerful but still dreadfully dull tune, it starts out somber with the Gargoyles sad to see their Quasi growing up finding love.
It's all too sudden.
Our boy has grown.
There's nothing more to do.
It's true.
He's on his own.
Despite the fact that's what they told him earlier.
You can stay here and hope for a miracle, or you can get out there and make a miracle of your own.
Wait, why am I looking for continuity in this film? All finance disappointment. After it rains, Madeline goes to drive from the bell tower and bomb with Quasi. Despite being cliched, the scene is mostly okay, except for this obvious piece of symbolism.
It's beautiful.
Yes, she is. La Fidel, that is. But she's even more beautiful on the inside.
Get it? Get it? Get it? Hey, Rufio, I don't think they got it.
You man! You stupid man!
Couldn't say it better myself? So yeah, La Fidel is a gorgeous bell decorated with jewels on the inside. Who would decorate the inside of a bell? Who would decorate a bell in the first place? And the next morning, Quasi confesses his feelings for Madeline to Esmeralda and family. But Phoebus, knowing the circus performers are guilty of theft, brings this up to Quasi and Esme, but out of disgust, they walk away. Yeah, that dumb cliche too.
Everybody is mad at me. How often does that happen?
This doesn't even lead to anything. Madeline decides she doesn't want to be a thief anymore and tells off Sarouche.
I mean to have that bell.
I want nothing more to do with your thefts.
Oh, really? And how will you survive out there, On your looks?
Yeah. I mean, if Frollo gained power despite looking like a mix between his voice actor and a prune, imagine what Madeline could become. For record, I'm not dissing Tony J. It's just, they do look kind of similar. But Sarouche rats Madeline out to Phoebus to distract him so they can still La Fidel. All while Madeline tries to tell the truth to Quasi, but is found out too late.
La Fidel! It's gone!
Did you know about this?
I wanted to tell you. I tried.
You used me. You never cared about me.
No, that is not true.
You were right. Quasi, I'm sorry.
I refer you to this clip from a previous review. This is awful! This stupid, overused, toilet-stained, copy and pasted efforts of creativity! But Zephyr discovers the truth and goes off to tell Uncle Gadget, I mean his parents.
It's Zephyr.
He's gone after them.
Oh wait, that should be what happens, but he instead decides to follow them and gets captured.
You won't get away with this. My dad's captain of the guard.
Captain of the guard, eh?
Elsewhere, Madeline says she can help track Sarouche, and despite some rightfully earned distrust, they give her another chance. So they travel to... Oh no, we're in the Black Cauldron! Quick, hide all your... Don't hide from anything, that movie is galaxies better than this one. But Jolly finds them, and because in bad movies every animal acts like a dog, they give a Lassie joke.
Where's Zephyr?
Hurry, Jolly. Take us to him.
Where is he, Jolly? Did he fall down a well? Well, if it happened to every big-time Rush member, it must be common, right? My therapist talked to you, didn't he? Why would that be considered a problem?
Sarouche! Surrender now!
I see things a bit differently.
Mama! Papa!
Let him go!
Very poor choice of words.
I think not, Captain. He's my ticket out of here. Don't test me, Captain.
Papa!
Nominated for an Academy Award for The Sixth Sense, the voice of Sora from the Kingdom Hearts games, and that's his voice acting.
Papa!
I'm starting to see how he was in 3 direct-to-DVD sequels. So they agree to his demands and let him go, but Madeline sporadically earns Quasi's trust. No, seriously, it's like a second later, watch.
Quasi, listen to me. I know I hurt you. I'm sorry. But I am someone you can trust.
How can I?
Quasimodo, there's more to me.
That was it. That was all it took for him to trust and love her again. It takes more time for me to take one step forward. Something this movie is completely unable to do.
I can do this. I can do this.
I know you can.
But I guess Madeline will attempt to do so on the tightrope and succeeds in saving Zephyr. Maybe she's the real villain.
What are you doing here?
Just standing here looking pretty.
No, I mean, why are you wearing a dress up there like that? I can very easily see up there. I'm not even trying to. I'm not a pervert, you know. Except to myself. I could kiss me. And I have fallen in love. So he's arrested and... listen to this.
No, not the face! What's the face?
It is the family code, not the face. Never the face.
I think it's obligatory at this point for me to at least try to reference total drama as much as possible. So the villain is escorted to jail, the families reunite, and the festival Le Jour de Amour takes place. And it's not nearly as stupid and cringeworthy to watch as I thought it'd be. It's actually worse than I thought it'd be. Okay, if you're watching this, make a vow right now to never, ever critique celebrity couples confessing their love on Twitter again. Because bear in mind, it could be this.
I love Esmeralda! I love Viva! Will you two shut up?
And look, Quasi and Madeline are in love. That was the goal of the whole movie. Should I feel satisfied? It's like finishing a race from the washer to the dryer. Is there anything remarkable in that?
I love Madeline!
I love Quasimodo!
Jeez, I thought the first film's ending was cringeworthy. It was nothing compared to this. This movie was awful. Its only saving grace? At least Frollo's character wasn't disgraced in it. But that's because he's dead. Okay, that's not entirely true. I can find a few positives in this movie if I squint at it. Michael McKean's voice acting is solid, the score is atmospheric, and once in a while the animation gets a good sweeping shot. Even a half-decent dramatic moment can occur. But those moments are like $2 bills, extremely rare. The animation and music are still huge downgrades. The plot is as cliched and formulaic as you'd fear it is. The gargoyles are even worse this time, and yet somehow not nearly as bad as Zephyr is. And all the other returning characters aren't a tenth as interesting or likable as they were in the first film. And the sad thing is, I feel I wasted my time reviewing this. Remember when I referenced Animat's top 10 best animated sequels list? Well, let me reference his top 10 worst animated sequels list, of which this fittingly made it.
They all share the same problems. The writing is lazy, the stories can range from being too dull to too ridiculous, the jokes are lame, the animation received a massive downgrade from the original, the old characters are just generic one-dimensional versions of their former selves, the new characters don't feel like they should be in the same world as the old ones, and the songs aren't even a fraction as memorable as the ones from the original.
He's completely right. This film is so repetitive and uninspired, you confuse it for 10 other bad kids films. And the fact that one of my all-time favorite films created a generic, annoying kids film is the biggest sin of all. This whole project was really a product of HELLFIRE. And if Frollo's Go is trying to prevent it, I think we all should have pitched in and burnt this sequel at the stake. I mean, after how wonderful the first film was, this sequel just drained me, especially its horrible music. Do you want to know what kind of music always puts me in a good mood? Yeah, cartoon intros, they always put a smile on my face. In fact, I'm gonna do another top 10 list on them. Yeah, I'm gonna do another top 10 cartoon intros list, but I always have a different theme for every list, so this will be no different. But what theme should I do this time? Well, I have an idea. Oh no, not this. It's time to represent girl power.
My heart will love a lovey love love, but only in my dreams.